Some NFL players became legends. Others became villains. But only a few became both. This is the line between loved versus hated, where one play makes you a hero and one moment makes you a villain forever. Peyton Manning. The sheriff everyone respected. Peyton Manning ran games like a machine and still made everyone laugh while doing it. Peyton Manning changed the quarterback position. He called his own plays, broke down defenses, and barked orders like a field general. He won 5 MVPs, threw for over 71,000 yards, and won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams. But it wasn't just the stats. Peyton earned respect across the league because he studied harder than anyone, roasted himself in commercials, and never ducked blame. Rivals like Belichick and Brady praised him. Even fans who hated the Colts still admired Peyton. When he retired, every stadium gave him a standing ovation. He was funny, brilliant, and dominant. The rare NFL star everyone agreed on. Tom Brady, rings, scandals, and smugness. Tom Brady won 7 rings, but left a trail of controversy behind each one. Tom Brady is the most decorated quarterback in NFL history. 7 Super Bowls, over 89,000 passing yards, 3 MVPs, but he wasn't universally loved. Spygate, Deflategate, suspensions, favoritism. He was the face of a dynasty that many saw as arrogant. He screamed at teammates, dodged blame, and wore the smirk of a man who always won. Some fans worshipped him. Others despised the way rules bent around him. Even in Tampa Bay, his success stirred resentment. Brady never cared. He didn't play to be liked. He played to win. And that's exactly why he's so hated and respected. Larry Fitzgerald. No trash talk, just class Larry Fitzgerald torched defenses for 17 years and never said a single word about it. Larry Fitzgerald caught 121 touchdowns, made 11 Pro Bowls, and never caused drama. He blocked downfield. He helped defenders up. He smiled, ran crisp routes, and walked back to the huddle. In 17 seasons, he was never fined once. He wrote letters to families of teammates who passed away. He spoke at funerals. He won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. When Arizona collapsed, he stayed loyal. Fans across the league respected him. Coaches trusted him. Even refs liked him. No scandals, no headlines, just greatness and grace. Larry didn't need to talk. He let the game speak for him. Antonio Brown, self-destruction on repeat. Antonio Brown was a Hall of Famer. Then he threw it all away, one meltdown at a time. Antonio Brown had Hall of Fame stats. 6 straight seasons with over 100 catches. He led the league in yards and touchdowns. But the chaos never stopped. He feuded with teammates, Facebook Live in the locker room, threw furniture off a balcony, faked a vaccination card, walked off the field mid-game, accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women, released by multiple teams. One of the greatest receivers of his era, but also one of the most unpredictable. Brown didn't just fall off, he exploded. His career became a cautionary tale of talent without control. Barry Sanders, greatness without ego. Barry Sanders embarrassed defenders weekly and never celebrated once. Barry Sanders rushed for 15,269 yards in just 10 seasons. He led the league in rushing 4 times. He broke ankles every Sunday with impossible cuts. But he never showboated, never taunted, never demanded more money or touches. And when the Lions kept losing, he walked away, still in his prime. No farewell tour, no drama, just the facts. Barry could have broken every record. Instead, he left with mystery and class. Fans didn't just admire his moves, they respected his silence. In an era built on ego, Barry Sanders stayed humble, and that's why he's still one of the most beloved players ever. Deshaun Watson. Lawsuits shadow his throws. Deshaun Watson had superstar talent, but now every pass carries a shadow. Deshaun Watson was once the NFL's next great quarterback. 3 Pro Bowls, nearly 5,000 passing yards in 2020. But then came the lawsuits. More than 24 women accused him of sexual misconduct during massage sessions, civil suits, settlements. A grand jury declined to press criminal charges, but the NFL still suspended him 11 games. Cleveland gave him $230 million, fully guaranteed, the most controversial contract in league history. Fans protested. Sponsors vanished. The locker room went quiet. Watson's comeback wasn't celebrated. It was scrutinized. He's not just a quarterback now. He's a symbol of everything fans want to forget. Walter Payton played like a warrior, gave like a saint. Walter Payton ran through pain and gave back without ever saying a word. Walter Payton rushed for over 16,000 yards, scored 125 touchdowns, and almost never missed a game. He stiff-armed, hurdled, and ran through entire defenses. He was tough, unbreakable, and relentless. But off the field, he lived up to his nickname, Sweetness. He visited hospitals, gave to charity, and kept his struggles private. When he was dying from a rare disease, he never made it public. He just showed up and gave speeches. The NFL named his top humanitarian award after him. Walter didn't want sympathy or spotlights. He just wanted to give. He was violence on Sundays and compassion every other day. Vontaze Burfict, cheap shots and chaos. Vontaze Burfict didn't play defense. He played with violence, and the league paid for it. Vontaze Burfict was never about clean hits. He headhunted, took out knees, targeted helmets. He racked up over $5 million in fines and suspensions, more than any defensive player in history. The worst moment came in a 2016 playoff game. He knocked out Antonio Brown with a brutal headshot, then taunted him. The Bengals lost because of it. Fans hated him. Players feared him. The league suspended him multiple times. In 2019, he got banned for the rest of the season after yet another illegal hit. Burfict didn't bend rules. He broke them. And it broke his career. Tony Dungy, NFL's moral compass. Tony Dungy coached with calm, led with faith, and won without yelling once. Tony Dungy made NFL history in 2007, becoming the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl. But that wasn't what made him loved. He didn't curse, didn't scream, and didn't belittle his players. He coached with quiet confidence. He taught his team to live with purpose. From Tampa Bay to Indianapolis, Dungy built cultures, not just game plans. He mentored men in prison. He advocated for fatherhood. He supported players through tragedies. Opposing coaches respected him. Players called him a second father. In a sport known for chaos, Dungy brought peace, and the entire league noticed. Greg Hardy, domestic violence and denial. Greg Hardy had elite talent, but his career collapsed under the weight of his own violence. Greg Hardy was a Pro Bowl pass rusher with 15 sacks in 2013, but in 2014, he was arrested for domestic violence. Police photos showed bruises and injuries. He was convicted by a judge, but the case was later dismissed after the victim didn't appear for appeal. The NFL gave him a 10-game suspension, reduced to 4. Dallas still signed him and got ripped for it. Hardy never showed remorse. He posed with guns. He blamed the media. He later became an MMA fighter, where boos followed him into every arena. In the NFL, talent gets second chances. Hardy proved there's a limit. Kurt Warner, bagging groceries to Super Bowl MVP. Kurt Warner went from stocking shelves to winning the biggest game in football. Kurt Warner's story doesn't sound real. He went undrafted, stocked grocery shelves at $5.50 an hour, then joined the Arena League, then NFL Europe, then, out of nowhere, took over the Rams in 1999 and won MVP. He threw 41 touchdowns and led the greatest show on turf to a Super Bowl win. He won another MVP in 2001. Later, he revived the Cardinals and took them to their first Super Bowl. Teammates called him a leader. Opponents respected his arm. Fans loved his faith and humility. Warner didn't just beat the odds, he shattered them. Colin Kaepernick, icon or traitor, depending who you ask, Colin Kaepernick kneeled. and became the most polarizing player in NFL history. Colin Kaepernick led the 49ers to a Super Bowl in just his second season. He ran for 181 yards in a playoff game, broke records. Then, in 2016, he kneeled during the national anthem to protest police brutality. Some called him brave. Others called him un-American. The NFL said he wasn't blackballed, but no team signed him after 2016. He filed a grievance. Settled. His jersey became a symbol. His name became a dividing line. Kaepernick didn't fade from the league. He became bigger than it. Loved by some, hated by others, and still unsigned. Troy Polamalu, soft-spoken, hard-hitting legend. Troy Polamalu barely spoke, but his hits echoed across the league. Troy Polamalu wasn't loud. He didn't trash talk. He barely even celebrated. But on Sundays, he exploded. He leapt over linemen, picked off passes midair, delivered hits that shook stadiums. He made 8 Pro Bowls, won 2 Super Bowls, and earned Defensive Player of the Year in 2010. He played with instinct, fearlessness, and total discipline. Off the field, he was quiet, spiritual, and humble. No scandals, no spotlight chasing, just football and family. Fans didn't just love his play, they respected his peace. In a violent game, Troy Polamalu was the calm that hit like thunder. Eli Apple, trash talk, little walk. Eli Apple talks like a star, but gets burned like a rookie. Eli Apple was a first-round pick in 2016. Big potential, big stage, but he didn't live up to the hype. He bounced from the Giants to the Saints to the Bengals to the Dolphins. Along the way, he made headlines. For trash talk, not talent. He mocked Stephon Diggs, clowned Tyreek Hill, called out entire fan bases. But then came the Super Bowl, where Cooper Kupp torched him. Apple kept tweeting, kept talking, but fans never forgot the blown coverages. He became a meme. In a league full of lockdown corners, Apple locked down his own reputation. Andrew Luck, retired early, loved deeply. Andrew Luck shocked the NFL by walking away at his peak, and fans still miss him. Andrew Luck was the perfect quarterback. Stanford grad, #1 overall pick, 4 Pro Bowls, led the Colts to the AFC Championship, but his body broke down. Shoulder surgery, lacerated kidney, torn abdomen, endless rehab. In 2019, at just 29 years old, he retired, right before the season started. Colts fans booed him, then cried for him. Teammates called him a genius. Coaches said he was irreplaceable. He didn't chase money or fame. He chose peace. Luck left football with no scandal, just scars. And years later, fans still ask, what if he stayed? Ray Lewis, Super Bowl champ with a murder trial past Ray Lewis, won 2 Super Bowls. But his darkest moment came off the field. Ray Lewis was the face of the Ravens. 13 Pro Bowls, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, 2 Super Bowl rings. But in 2000, he was charged with murder after a nightclub fight left 2 men dead. He took a plea deal, testified against 2 others. The murder charges were dropped, but questions never left. He rebuilt his image, gave speeches, quoted scripture, led locker rooms. But for many fans, the suit he wore at trial mattered more than the ones he wore on Sundays. Ray Lewis became a champion, but never escaped the shadows. Calvin Johnson, quiet domination. Calvin Johnson made defenders look tiny, then vanished from the game in silence. Calvin Johnson was 6'5", 237 pounds, and ran a 4.35. They called him Megatron for a reason. In 2012, he set the NFL record for most receiving yards in a season, 119.64. He had 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons, 3 All-Pro nods, but he never showboated, never demanded attention. And in 2016, just 30 years old, he retired. His body hurt. Detroit wasted his prime. He left quietly, just like Barry Sanders. Fans didn't criticize him. They respected him. He gave everything. Dominated without drama. Calvin Johnson was the storm that never needed thunder. Jason Kelce, heart of Philly. Jason Kelce wasn't just a center, he was Philadelphia's soul in pads. Jason Kelce played 13 seasons for one team, won a Super Bowl, made 6 Pro Bowls, but numbers don't define him. Moments do. Like when he gave that legendary speech in a full Mummers outfit after the Eagles' first title. Or when he played through injuries, never missed snaps, and led by example. Philly fans are brutal, but they never booed Kelce. He blocked for multiple quarterbacks, mentored rookies, and brought fire to every snap. Off the field, he stayed humble. On it, he was a warrior. Jason Kelce didn't just wear midnight green, he was it.